It is open to all CUNY students, although it's on Baruch's campus. The Field Center has so many programs and competitions and opportunities to offer.
Welcome to Where Are They Now, the new CUNY Startups podcast where we sit down with alumni from our startup programs and discuss their experiences, delving into their journeys, aspirations, and the unique experiences that the CUNY Startups programs have offered them. Not just to recount success stories, but also to unravel the challenges, the lessons learned, and the moments that define their entrepreneurial path.
My name is Kwapna, and I'm here today with Enyo. So thank you so much for joining us today. How's your day been so far?
It's been going pretty well. I've just been studying for finals. I'm sure you can relate. How's your day been?
My day's been pretty chill. I just had this interview and a few meetings beforehand. So let's get it started. Can you start by telling us about yourself and what led you to study operations management and analytics at Baruch?
My name is Enyo Okeoma. I was an operations management and analytics major at Baruch. And currently I'm a law student and I'm developing a social media app. So what led me to study operations management was simply the mindset that I have an affinity towards creative skills. And so in order to create an app, I realized, well, I need UX design, which I can do, but I also need programming and I need business. And so I wanted to major in something that could cover my weaknesses. And operations is the backbone of any organization. And so I wanted to have a solid understanding of that in order to be able to better manage my future startup.
Okay, that's definitely something that's going to draw someone to operations. So what drew you to entrepreneurship while at Baruch, and how did your involvement with Baruch CEO Club shape your journey?
I discovered entrepreneurship at Baruch through the Field Center. I think it was spring 2023 that I stumbled upon the entrepreneurship mural competition, and that was held at the Field Center. And I really enjoyed what I saw there. And I just wanted to get more involved with the events that the Field Center was hosting. With Baruch CEO, I actually connected with the president, Janina, on LinkedIn. And I saw what she was doing with Baruch CEO. It seemed really interesting. And that was towards the end of the semester, towards summer. And so I was like, well, next fall, I'm resolving myself to get involved with this organization. Because before then, I didn't know as a transfer student, I didn't know that the Field Center existed, and I didn't know we had a student organization that was inclined towards entrepreneurship either.
Nice. So can you tell us about how you first got involved with CUNY Startups and how it played a developmental role as a founder?
So I first got involved with CUNY Startups because I wanted to find a team for my app that I was building. I found NBA1, which is the Venture Accelerator. I found them on LinkedIn as well. And so I thought that it would be a good opportunity for me to network and for me to meet new like-minded people. Although I didn't end up working on my app during NBA1, it really equipped me with the tools necessary to take another look at my idea and look at what was lacking in terms of market research, what users would like, what my competitors are doing. And I wouldn't trade the experience for anything because it really allowed me to get more serious about what I wanted to do with my app.
Could you tell us more about your social media app and some challenges or major milestones while creating this app as a student?
So my social media app is called Mirror. It was very challenging, I would say, because I am a one-person team. The hardest part was looking for people that would be invested in it the same way or similar ways as I was. I tried Fiverr, I tried reaching out to people on social media, and obviously I tried NBA1. But the main issue was time commitment. People also have their own priorities, whether it's work, whether it's school, whether it's their own passion project. What was most challenging with developing it as a student was finding someone that could commit the time and that was going to be passionate about it like I was. But one piece of advice I would give to anyone in the same situation would be not to give up. If you truly believe in your idea, you should stick to it and invest the time that you can in it. Obviously, focus on your studies as well. I'd say it is really worth it. One of my major milestones was last April, I did start beta testing with a few friends. Got a lot of feedback. I was also very open to change. I was ready to pivot when need be. I'd say another milestone that's coming up would be over the summer, hopefully before the next fall semester starts, I'm planning on beta testing again and publishing or public testing so that I can gain more feedback and further fine tune my app.
That's some great news. So you've built some skills in UX design, data analytics, and business strategy. How did you learn those and how have they helped you as a founder?
So for learning those skills, I started graphic design in high school. And many of the graphic design skills I had were transferable. And so I just honestly practiced as much as I can with the UX design, trying to apply graphic design skills to UX design. And my skills they just gradually progressed over the years. It's very applicable to any tech job, honestly, because the way that our world works, we're a very tech-oriented society now. And so you can really apply UX design skills anywhere or graphic design skills anywhere. They also help me with marketing for events that we have to host. When I was in CEO Club and now in law school, I'm part of some organizations where I have to make posters. In terms of data analytics and business strategy, I don't think I've had as many opportunities to implement those skills because I went straight from undergrad to law school instead of working for a company per se. So they haven't really come into play yet, but I know that when I do publish my app, when it comes time to come up with a marketing strategy or when it comes time to determine how my app is performing, then I can use those skills to help me.
So could you tell us more about your project, Career Pathways? What inspired it and what problem you're aiming to solve with this project?
Yeah, so Career Pathways was the project that I did with NBA. And my team and I, we wanted to solve an issue that all of us had experienced during undergrad, which was difficulty registering for classes that would benefit our career long term. We needed more career guidance and more academic guidance and course selection. We surveyed people on campus, and one problem that a lot of people had was that they felt like they were spending additional time at school or in undergrad because they weren't selecting all the classes that they needed to graduate, or because they were unsure about which major to choose. And so that was the issue that we were trying to solve. And it was really just inspired by the issues that we had personally experienced. We made a website it was kind of similar to a job search website where you could filter what jobs you would be interested in pursuing in the future, and then what courses would help you stand out or help you gain skills for that job. And that was on a website. And although we didn't further pursue the service that we had ideated through NBA1, all of the skills that I used and all the tools that we learned about were applicable to any future idea that I had.
That's definitely something great to hear. So you mentioned you're currently in law school. What inspired this part? And also, how does it connect with your long-term goals in tech or business?
So my reason for joining law school is very similar to the reason I had chosen OM as a major in the first place. It came from an understanding of the weaknesses that I had in my knowledge. And as a one-person team, I was like, okay, now at this point, I had UX design under my belt. I had business under my belt. I was teaching myself programming. And so I had that under my belt. The next thing that I wanted to conquer was law, because if I'm going to be doing this by myself for the foreseeable future, I wanted to learn how to protect my ideas and how to incorporate. That was what initially inspired me to go to law school. Also, Fundamentals of Business Law at Baruch was one of my favorite classes. I really enjoyed it a lot. And so I saw a future where I could practice law for many years until I was able to then expand my company and expand my tech startup and focus on that full time.
That's definitely a great backstory. So looking back, what advice would you give to other CUNY students who want to start something of their own like yours, or just CUNY students who are looking to get into the entrepreneurship field?
My number one piece of advice would be to get to the Field Center, Lawrence M. Field Center for Entrepreneurship. That was genuinely my favorite part of attending Baruch, and it is open to all CUNY students, although it's on Baruch's campus. I really enjoyed that because the Field Center has so many programs and competitions and opportunities to offer, whether it's the Baruch Marketplace, where you can showcase your own business on campus, whether it's NBA One like I did, or the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, where you can get legal advice for free. There's just so much to do at the Field Center, so many ways to get help from the Field Center. And so if you are looking to pursue entrepreneurship, then that is genuinely your best bet as a CUNY student, in my opinion.
Thank you for that piece of advice. So is there any exciting updates or steps for your app or entrepreneur journey that you'd like to share with us?
Over the summer and hopefully by the fall, I do plan on doing public testing on my app, and there will be more information on that on my domain that I own, mirror.diy. That's mirror.diy. There's no website being hosted on it right now, so if you go to it, you won't find anything, but I'll be updating it over the summer with download links and any other important information. So if you're interested, then you can go look.
Before we leave you, if you could go back and give your freshman self one piece of advice, what would it be?
So freshman year, I was actually a biology major at Stony Brook University. And my one piece of advice to that younger version of me would be, like, I understand that you were searching for support from people that were not giving you the support that you needed, but you need to still focus on your grades. You need to still focus on succeeding in the position that you're currently in. And I would definitely advise myself to switch majors sooner. You do not need permission to switch majors when it's your education, it's your loans, your future, your happiness in your life. So I would definitely encourage myself to do what I thought was best for me way earlier than I did it. And the last bit of advice would probably be to not feel too bad that you didn't publish your app in 2020, because frankly, if I had done it in 2020, it probably would have looked a mess, because my skills have advanced so much now in this day and age because of all of the time I spent honing them, that I don't think it would have been successful if I had published in 2020 versus me publishing in the near future.
Okay, so that's all that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a lovely evening.